What's up, Marco Ball traders? I'll work on that intro. Welcome to Marco Ball Trades. This is another video, another UFC video, fight night video, backed by popular demand. All of you really loved the last video I did on Robert Whittaker and Colby Covington, what they have in common, but not so much as Habib Nurmagomedov. But that's okay. You know, it's okay. I deserve this. You know this? I will get better. I have mic now. Maybe have better sound. You know this. Smash. Anyway, this video is going to be about UFC Fight Night Vegas. Just happened last night. Glover, motherfucking Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira versus Thiago. Is his name? No, it's not Thiago Santos. Yeah, Thiago Santos. Thiago Mahete, which in Portuguese, I guess, means sledgehammer or hammer. Has a huge sledgehammer like Thor's Mjolnir tattooed on his chest. And oh my gosh, that fight, it was a 5-round fight, but it went 3 rounds only. That was a fight right there. Oh my gosh, back and forth. We're just gonna jump right into it because it was so fucking exciting. Here we go. Round 1 begins, these two come out in the middle, right? It doesn't take long for, you know, Santos to kind of get his shots off, okay? They're squaring up, kind of feeling each other out. The feeling out process was very short, and they did not disappoint. Santos lands some shots on Teixeira, and with the crowd not being there, you can really, you know, hear that thud, that smack. And basically, he catches Teixeira, but something happens, and Dominic Cruz, who was commentating, mentions this about Glover, and it's that he's getting caught, he's getting tagged, but I don't know if, you know, like I said, he's 41, so that experience in MMA, as soon as he starts getting tagged and like realizing he's in danger, almost like second nature, he times one of Santos's shots, and then, you know, he shoots in and secures a lock and shoots in for a double leg. I believe it was, but he secures a fucking takedown. And he's on top of Santos. Not only does he take Santos down, he fucking stays on him and controls him for the remainder of the round. Mind you, like I said, they came out, started, the action went right away. It was probably, what, like 4 minutes and maybe 30 seconds. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. Into the round 1, Santos lands that shot, and Teixeira goes in for the takedown and controls him. And he's not just laying on him. Teixeira is landing elbows, he's landing punches, he's transitioning, he's reacting and being proactive to Santos's movements. He's anticipating things. Dominic Cruz, he basically mentioned that Teixeira, that's his signature. Whenever he's taking shots or taking damage on the feet, he immediately goes in for a takedown, and he gets it. It's not like a sloppy takedown that you see some guys do where they get rocked and it's like instinctual for them to just grab on or latch onto something. Teixeira's like, it's like a precise, clean, methodical textbook takedown, and he gets you down. So that was end of round 1 there. Round 2 comes out. Teixeira's corner is probably like, look, you fucking took him down easy as shit, so why don't you just do that again? They come out in the middle of the octagon, and Teixeira does this nice, he like throws a straight right hand to mask his takedown. And while he's doing this, Santos is kind of backing up towards the fence in the first place, so he kind of throws his right hand, masks his double leg takedown, you know, gets him at the waist, boom, I think he presses him up against the fence, and then again secures a takedown. I mean, he had like a lot of ground control and control time in this fight, did Teixeira. I don't know if he was just conserving or just trying to survive or what, but like he wasn't even like throwing elbows or punches from the bottom. I think when he was in side control, he threw a knee to Teixeira's side, but that didn't even do anything. Yeah, but Teixeira was just beautifully, masterfully transitioning, you know, opening the guard, passing the guard, going from side control, you know, all while throwing elbows and landing punches. That was pretty much the whole like narrative of round 2, was Teixeira again secures his takedown. Boom. Okay, so now end of round 2, Santos's corner is like, his head coach is like, look, I want you to look at me, because they were translating it from Portuguese to English. I want you to look at me. He's like, I don't want you to get taken down. I don't care how you stop it, just take him down. Round 3, they come out. Again, boom, Teixeira does the same thing, throws that right hand to mask that takedown, and he makes contact with Santos, presses him kind of up against the fence, but Santos does something to kind of stuff it, but he doesn't really stuff it. He creates a little bit of space, and in this weird kind of scramble now, like Teixeira had to reload and like gather himself before he went in again. But in that window of time, Santos like throws this fucking machete, this sledgehammer with his left hand, and boom, and like it drops Teixeira. Like, immediately Santos had this like surge of energy and he like swarms onto Teixeira. But this is what I noticed. Santos is, I think he's more of like a brawler. At least that's what he shows in his fights. He's a brawler with a lot of power, hence the sledgehammer tattoo on his chest and his nickname Machete. He's more of a brawler. Like I didn't see him try to like secure a position, go for submissions. He like was on both of his knees over Teixeira with like space in between him and Teixeira, like landing these like mini jack off hammer fists, like. And I'm like, dude, what kind of fucking fighting is that? Like, they tell you in jiu-jitsu, like, you should be like airtight, seal tight to your opponent, like shoving your elbow in their fucking chin and like disrupting their breathing pattern. At least my instructor did, but it's like there was so much space and he's just like jack off hammer fisting him in the face. And it's like, okay, so he then goes into the guard. I think he's in Teixeira's half guard. You know, he's trying to throw, but he's not as active as Teixeira was on top. So now we're like, ooh, Teixeira's on the bottom. Let's see what he can do. So this is round 3. So it seemed like Santos just laid on Teixeira to kind of regather himself. Maybe he gassed just a little bit, and maybe he wanted to conserve and regain his energy for the next big hammer fist surge that he was gonna do. And that's what happened. And so he like gets up, whereas you see most guys like GSP was like, and then Matt Hughes, I think too, and maybe even Ortiz, well, they were masters in ground and pound where they didn't need to really get up if they're in your guard and then start throwing punches at you. Like they could, like their face could be glued to your chest and they've got you, they're in your guard, and they could just like, they just knew where your face was, and like they would just punch so that they wouldn't create that space so that you could escape. So Santos, he started throwing some, good punches. He gave himself some space, boom, boom, and you can hear them, they're landing. Oh, it's not good. Again, Teixeira's smart. He's not just gonna sit there and take that. But the mistake, like I said, Santos, when he would go on his ground and pound flurry, he would create just enough space. He's like on his knees, kind of slanted over. Teixeira then uses his knee, puts it in Santos's hip, creates just enough space. Like, it's not to like push him way off of him. No, it's like a little window of time. Boom, gets up and he uses that, and this fool secures his waistline, locks, gets a body lock from the ground. Like Teixeira's probably sitting on his ass still at this point, and Santos is like both knees on the canvas, and he gets a body lock around Santos' waist, then gets up and drives him into the fence, and you're like, what the fuck? And so it's like when Teixeira starts taking punching damage, his brain's like, oh, get the takedown, takedown, and he does it. Like, he doesn't just wildly shoot in, like he gets you in a nice body lock, puts him up against the fence. He tries to pick Santos up for a slam, but again, all he did was pick him up just enough to kind of maybe distract Santos. I think maybe he did it inadvertently. Then he sinks in his right hook up against the fence, gets both of them in. Santos is like, no, I'm not gonna get choked out. He kind of turns to the side, lays his back some. Teixeira starts to land a couple punches, and Santos is like, all right, I don't want that either. And then he presents his back to Teixeira, and Teixeira gets in a couple of punches, I think, with the right hand. Santos is kind of covering up. He's flat though. Santos is flat at this point on the canvas. His stomach is flat on the canvas. And Teixeira, I like, he boom, softens him up with two on the right, and then like sinks in the left hand under the neck for the choke, gets the choke, and boom, Santos taps out. And it was beautiful. It was like, whoa, that was a fight right there. When I watched it, I watched it twice. When I watched it the first time, I was like, Teixeira just like embodies the champion mindset, that determination, that will, where it's like even in the face of adversity, like you get dropped on your ass and you're looking at the guy that dropped you on your ass and you're like, nope, I'm not done yet. And it's like, but he's smart about it. He's not just gonna sit there and take punches. That, to me, that showed he wanted to be in that fight and he wanted to win that fight, and he knew he was in a bad position and he wanted, his will was to get out of that position. And the best way, the most common sense way, if someone's punching you, all right, well, yeah, if you can't close the distance and like secure him on the waist, on the stomach. I mean, that's easier said than done, but Teixeira did it twice. And it's like, yeah, they can't knock you out and punch you if you're like stuck to them. So now Teixeira is now the #1 light heavyweight contender. So now, you know, we've got a weird love triangle here going on in the light heavyweight division, because it was, I guess, announced, I don't know if it's official, said this in the other video, Israel Adesanya and Jan Blachowicz for the light heavyweight title. So I don't know. I think Teixeira even mentioned this in his post-fight interview. He's like, come on, UFC or Dana White, you know, give me the, you know, shot. And frankly, he deserves it. I mean, I think Teixeira deserves it over Adesanya, because Teixeira, that's his weight class. Like, Adesanya would be going up. But if you're the UFC, if you're Sean Shelby, if you're Dana White, you're like, okay, Adesanya Blachowicz is going to be a bigger draw and bigger money than Blachowicz Teixeira. Now, Teixeira Blachowicz, that is a good, pure, that is a true light heavyweight fight, and I would love to see that. I love to see that. I mean, frankly, now out of the two, who would I love to see? I'm torn, because in my head, I'm just going to always now just say that Adesanya, I think he would beat Blachowicz. I think so. I'm pretty sure he would beat Blachowicz. I think he's faster than Blachowicz. And after seeing Santos defeat Blachowicz before, I think Adesanya can catch him. I don't know if he'll hit as hard. Maybe he will. I don't know. But Adesanya definitely has skill. He has that. I mean, this guy was in Glory Kickboxing. But anyway, it's not his time. It's Teixeira's time. So yeah, shout out to Glover Teixeira. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of that fight. And should it be Glover Teixeira now that gets a shot against Jan Blachowicz for the light heavyweight title? Or should it be that super fight, champion versus champion, Israel Adesanya against Jan Blachowicz for the light heavyweight title? Let me know what you all think in the comments below. And once again, this is Mark of all trades, encouraging you to take up as many trades as you can, because a jack of all trades is a master of none. But oftentimes, a master of many is better than one. Out.